worry, there's nothing wrong with your screen. This is a blackout read or message. So, I wanted to share this message with you guys that Spirit woke me out of my sleep for. I had to sit with myself for a minute before I even came on here and write down some notes and write down what Spirit, led me to write down. And um yeah, so quick disclaimer, you guys, before I start the reading per se, because I am going to pull on it, but I do have notes and I'm going to share those notes and kind of go into a dream that I had that goes along with this message. But I did do a message the other day, or reading the other day, that I did kind of touch on the masculine collective of things, or the male collective. And I'm sure not everybody was a fan of that, and that's fine, that's okay. My thing is this, you guys, is disclaimer, like, I'm not sugarcoating anything. And it could come across as me being insensitive, being arrogant, rude, whatever. But I'm assuming that's because some of you guys are used to me being like, kind of like a yes person to, yeah, I'll do this for you guys. I'll post this, do that. Kind of just, nah, I can't do that anymore. So I have to come from a standpoint of just straight, pure, honest message as it comes, with the respect that, to deliver the message from a place of compassion as well. So, like in the previous message that I said, where if you love someone, you have to hold them accountable, right? So the reason why I say this is to be an enabler to a man that is not on the right track in life or the path, or they're disrespecting you, or they're disrespectful towards others, or they're operating in toxic behavior, or behavior that could be detrimental to themselves, but because you love them, you don't want to lose them, you won't speak up, or you won't speak up for yourself. And a woman that does not respect herself, that does not have standards or boundaries, will become a doormat, and that man will not respect you, period. So the pick me energy, that's not going to get you anywhere. Toxic men will praise you for being a pick me, but they'll never pick you. So that's just what it is, okay? Been there, done that, and I've seen it. So if you care about a person, you will hold them accountable, and more so when you love yourself, you'll hold yourself accountable. You'll have standards and boundaries for yourself. That's what gains you and earns you respect. And if a man does not respect you or your boundaries or your standards, they're not the person for you, period. So being an enabler is actually a form of manipulation. I'm going to get into that in a second. So before I start the reading, the premise of this reading or this message was to talk about some of the things within the masculine collective, or some of them that are not being addressed here. And this is more so from a place of helping, not to hurt anybody's feelings. And if it triggers you, if it shakes you up, that's a good thing. So I know that sometimes my messages can be a bit triggering for some people. Um, and it could come across as me being insensitive. No, not by any means. I'm just a no non-bull. Like, I can't do it. I can't. Like, I can't. That Libra full moon hit me because I have a specific Libra placement in my chart, and it just all made sense why I said those things that I said in that reading. Like, I'm not playing with anybody, and I don't want to, like I said, I'm trying to be very conscious of how I come across, but I have to still speak it as I'm being guided to. And sometimes it catches me off guard as well, because I'll come into a reading, think I'm going to, read something specific, or it's going to come out a certain way, and Spirit be like, say this, and I'd be like, okay, no, that's making me uncomfortable. I don't want to say that shit, but I have to say it. You know what I mean? So the premise of this is to help the divine masculine energy with their process of healing, if they're willing to do it. But it all is up to you whether you want to go into the journey of your soul and heal those parts of yourself. No one else can do that for you. And women, ladies, you cannot do that for them. You'll never be able to tell another person or a grown person to do their self-work and healing. The masculine and feminine energies They cannot coexist without each other. And another thing with that as well, for those of you that want that healthy partnership, it takes two to tango, but the most important part of a relationship is the one that you have with yourself, because it will dictate every other relationship you have in your life, right? So shout out to the men that do the healing work, because that is not easy. It's not. It's not an easy process. So let's get into the message, y'all. I want to share my notes in this dream with you, and then I'm going to pull on it. I'll be sure to leave timestamps as well if you guys want to, have that distinction. So the masculine collective, I was picking up a few points here. Like Spirit had me write down at least 12 things that stood out here. So number one was temptation. So some masculine collective energies are dealing with temptations. Temptation doesn't always have to be in the form of sex, right? Temptation could be anything that entices you, kind of pulls you into something that you know that is not healthy for you or not good, but it's like you have to do it, or you want to do it so badly, right? So there could be certain things in your path that tempt you. That could be in the form of an unhealthy pattern or desire to do something that you know is not good for you. It's not wise to do it. Okay. Spiritual oppression. Now this can tie into different things. Spiritual oppression can also be addictions, those temptations. So addictions commonly could be like drug addiction, sex addiction, alcohol, could be gambling addictions, it could be porn, it could be anything, right? Something that you're addicted to, something that keeps you oppressed and stuck, could be things that are affecting your spiritual growth. The words orphan spirit and python spirit, if you want to look those two things up, python like the snake, and orphan spirit like Orphan Annie. You don't have to be literally an orphan, like an actual orphan, but it's a spirit. And that plays a lot, that spirit is very common in a lot of adults. It plays out based off of our childhood trauma. So if you want to look into that, you can. For some of you guys have heard me mention that a few times, so you probably already looked into it. But spiritual oppression can manifest itself in multiple ways. Enablers. So enablers around masculine energies, like it's very easy for one of the most common enablers of a man is going to be their women in their lives. It's almost 9 times out of 10, an enabler in a male's life is going to be a woman, because women by nature are nurturers. We're typically understanding. We're typically wanting to be the problem solvers and to counsel and to guide and to love. And those are healthy traits to have. But when it becomes kind of like where you start to, enabling comes in when you start to not hold that person accountable and you kind of coddle them because of, oh, this is my son, or this is my man, or you know what I mean? To the point where they don't know how to take accountability. They don't know how to kind of be mature too, in a sense. Like enabling is dangerous because it can also stagnate a person's growth, their spiritual maturity, their mental maturity, and their emotional maturity as well. They're not going to know how to deal with anything. Okay, so you have to hold a sense of accountability and responsibility. So enablers can also manifest themselves into one of these categories. Sirens. When I say sirens, don't mistake that I don't like mermaids. I love mermaids and I resonate with mermaids. I have mermaid energy and I love the ocean. So that does not make sense. But in a sense that Spirit was bringing it to me, Spirit was showing me those mermaids. I think they're on Pirates of the Caribbean, where the mermaids, they had that really sharp teeth. They were real pretty and they were singing, and the pirates were all enticed by them. And then when they called them in, they ate them. So that siren energy can manifest itself as pretty much like a a person that is very enticing, maybe very beautiful, uses some type of feminine wow to ensnare and trap a man. So Jezebel spirit as well came up. Jezebel spirit can very well be a man as well. Jezebel spirit does not have to just be a woman, and it does not just represent, because I feel like it gets, that word Jezebel has been misused. Jezebel spirits are not the ones that are the most sexiest and all of that, or they dress provocatively. In some cases, yes, that could be a part of it, but it's more so how they operate on a psychological level. They're mentally manipulative. They are also condescending. They're gaslighters. They uphold toxic behaviors. They endorse false doctrines. So like I'll just use this as an example. And a lot of these entertainers, they don't write their own lyrics. They just get paid to recite and do what they're taught to do, what they're trained to do, what they're choreographed to do. So like City Girls, Megan Thee Stallion type of stuff, like those that stuff that's fun to listen to when you twerking or you out with your friends or you going out to the club, like that stuff is like, okay, that's for that. It's just entertainment. But if you really listen to it, it's promoting false doctrines for women and men if you listen to it. So this is the type of woman that will encourage you, like, oh, you only live once, drink with me, don't worry about that, like pop this perk with me. Like they do stuff that will, that you know you ain't got no business doing, and they'll promote it for you. This is somebody that does not care about your future. They do not uphold the path that is of, the highest good for you. They are the type of friends or women that you don't want around you, because they'll pull you into their stuff, or they'll try to pull you into their stuff. And if you go, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Oh, no, I don't drink. Oh, I don't smoke. Oh, you lame. You a square. That's that type of person. That's a Jezebel spirit to some degree. That's a level of it. Because Jezebel did not like God's prophets. She had them, she had her army assigned to take them out. She was upholding a king at the time. This is a woman that props up, or any person that operates in this, but we're going to say women, that props up things, doctrines, and dogma, and people that are toxic and destructive in nature, because they're toxic and destructive in nature. So anything where a person is trying to get their life correct, or they're trying to walk in the path that's for their highest good, or they have some type of influence that's going to help people, they're going to attack that person, or they're going to come into that person's life to throw them off path. And this can come in the form of a friend as well. Jezebel spirit can operate in a male friend or a female friend, doesn't matter. Delilah spirits. Spirit of Delilah is dangerous as well, because she will exploit your traumas, your insecurities to work against you. So if you've ever watched the movie, and correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you guys ever seen that movie Casino with Robert De Niro, and I think Sharon Stone was his wife in that movie, or his girlfriend, I can't remember. But there was, I think, a particular scene where she was planted in his sight so he could see her. And I think she was being used against him, if I'm not mistaken. Like someone sent her there to get his attention, if I'm remembering the movie correctly, because it's been years since I watched that movie. So that could be a thing where, especially if anybody is a male of prominence, a man of prominence, you're going to have those people being sent to you. That's just a given. But like, it could just be a spiritual person that's being planted in your life to take you off course and off path, like pretty much to set you or take you off course. Figure out what your weaknesses are, get intimate with them. And when I mean intimate, doesn't mean just like with your bodies, but like where you start divulging in things like, your childhood, or what your fears are, what your hopes and your dreams, and you let them in on that one thing where they can attack you, right? Those can be people that will trap you through having a baby with you. Like Delilah spirits are dangerous too. So these are the handlers, these are the enablers. They can also be girlfriends, they could be wives, they could be mothers even. Okay. Mothers, friends, exes, baby mothers, and also succubus spirits too. So succubus is a form of a sex demon, a woman or female sex demon. So some of these women could be sexually deviant, sexually provocative, sexually promiscuous, or when you have sex with them, there's an energy too where you feel like you're stuck, or you feel like you are under some type of hypnosis or spell. And what I mean by that, if anybody's ever had sleep paralysis before, where you feel like you can't get out of your sleep, sometimes those are those spirits, incubus or succubus spirits, especially if you have like sex dreams and then you feel like with a strange person or someone that doesn't have a face and you're stuck and you can't get out. That could be a sign that you're dealing with a succubus spirit even in real life, or an incubus spirit if you're sleeping with a man, where let's use this as an example. As people say, oh, you kitty cat whipped. I'm not going to say the P word, but you kitty cat whipped, or you're dematized, you're dickmatized, right? Those phrases where you know that this person is toxic for you. You don't really like them like that. You don't really resonate with them person like that. Y'all don't really vibe, but maybe you guys vibe on like a superficial level, or it's just like a situation or friends with benefits or something, but you don't really take that person seriously, or you know that this man is like, you know, abusive, or this woman is like, just, you're not really feeling her like that. You don't really like her outside of the bedroom, but then when you have sex with them, it's kind of like you keep going back to it. And then you wake up and you come out of your you know, you come out of it and you're in your right mind. You're like, why did I even sleep with her? Or why am I still sleeping with him? What's wrong with me? I'm so stupid, right? That could be a sign of like a succubus or incubus spirit. So for the men, let's say succubus. Um, so there's that. And you can always tell when a man is dealing with a succubus spirit because they usually look sunken. They look unhealthy. Their skin looks really dull, or they're like, you can tell. I've seen this in real time before where men look like Pookie off of, what's that movie? New Jack City. Like Chris Rock's character looked like a, like, I don't want to use that word crackhead, but that's what he was. He was a crack fiend. Like they look sunken, like they don't eat, or they look like they haven't eaten in days, or their eyes look really dark. Like they have really dark bags under their eyes. They don't look healthy. Like you could tell, like a man, like the woman could be looking all, you know, on the surface at least, look all pretty and vibrant in a sense, and he's looking like that. Like you could tell, like she's sucking the energy out of him. You can see it. Like that's, it's so clear. Or you don't even have to know who the woman is. You could tell, like, oh, okay, he slept with somebody that sucked his energy. Like, because sex is supposed to be healthy in a sense, depending on who you lay with, of course. But the energy is supposed to be mutually beneficial and revitalizing to your spirit. Sex isn't just pleasure. It's just not about getting off and, you know, the act of sex itself, but the energy exchange. So you could tell when somebody's energy is being taken from them. So anyway, let's move on because we don't want to get too much into that. Some people ain't ready to hear it, so I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, these energies too, like I said, can spill into the mother too. So that's a little touchy. So hate to break it to some people, but some mommies got some of these spirits in them and on them, or they operate in it. So mommy issues comes into play, of course, and the mother could be either controlling and or emotional, have an emotional incest, like incest type of relationship with their son. And I'm sure, ladies, you can attest to this. You probably experienced this before, and you could call it mama boys. And there's nothing wrong with men loving their mothers. I feel like it's a beautiful relationship when it's healthy, but you can tell when it's that emotional incest or that like toxic mother energy where she's kind of like meddling in their relationships, or she kind of puts, especially if she's a single mother, where she places her son in the position of almost like being her partner or her man, or She probably can't keep a man either because she has put her son in that place of being kind of like her little man, like her husband, or if he's a full grown man, then it's kind of like he's still in that place. And it's borderline like uncomfortable. So like the emotional incest, that's a real thing. Look that up. Where the mom has that, it's an unhealthy emotional attachment to the point, almost like I said, it it can come across as like she's placing that like her son in a position of her partner, of her mates. So controlling mothers, there's a difference between a mother that wants the best for her son and kind of wants to see or get to know or vet or fill out who this woman is that their son is bringing into their life versus, I don't like her for no reason. It's a spirit of jealousy. It's a spirit of competitiveness that will come out of those type of mothers. So you could tell it's like they have no good reason not to like you. They could be passing judgment, or it could be they can start to sense that place that they've filled in their son's life, which is out of order. Some of those places, like I said, that emotional incest, that's out of order. They start to feel threatened, and they'll start to meddle, they'll start to compete, they'll start to like cause some drama, some discord between the partnerships, between that their son and their son's girlfriend or wives. Even like sometimes that stuff sticks even throughout marriage. So that could be something that some of these men are dealing with. Daddy issues came up next. So daddy issues can manifest itself as a dad that is present, but could be a little bit abusive in certain ways. Kind of having their son adopt some of the toxic masculine traits. Could also be absentee fathers, fathers that were not in their lives at all, disappeared before they were born, or left right soon after they were born, or comes and goes out of their life, breaks promises, does not stay, does not support their mothers. So it can manifest in different ways, but daddy issues did come up. Identity issues is a big thing. Identity issues in a man, in any human being, when you don't know who you are, you're lost in this life and you're constantly trying to seek out who you are, and sometimes in the wrong places. With a man that will look like, okay, well, I'm going to take on an identity that I think, makes me a man because this is what I was taught. This is what I was shown. So it's not really walking in your true identity or your true divinity. Could be dangerous because it will have you, like I said, walking in a path that's not really meant for you, coming across people that are not for your highest good, or playing out roles, false masculine roles of manhood that's not really real, that's taught to you by toxic masculine or male figures. Or if you didn't have a male figure, it's taught to you, in the streets, or taught to you through TV, or trash. Like nowadays, like these little boys, I'm kind of scared for them because this manosphere stuff is really, it's really like, it's not real manhood, and it's very like dangerous. Like when I say that, like some of the things that they're saying and the way that they speak about women is, it's superficial for one. It's also, it comes kind of from a place of almost like hatred too. And I talked about that in that one video. So, that's that. But other than the identity, when it comes to as a man, but just as a person, as a spiritual being, who are you? What are you? What did you come here to do? You didn't come here only or solely just to make money or to sleep with as many women as you can, or whatever things that teach you that you're a man, right? There's more to your existence than those things. So you have to know what you contribute in this life. Okay, so there could be identity issues that can manifest in so many different ways, whether it's sexual identity, whether it's based off of your race, whether it's based off of your social class, whether it's your spiritual belief or faith. There's so many levels that you can have with your identity. So poverty mindset was another thing that came up. Even if you are financially stable, you can still have poverty mindset. So poverty mindset can manifest from a place of scarcity or hoarding, or from a place of greed. Can also come from or manifest itself too as wanting to keep up with the Joneses, I think is the term, where you try to keep up with the next person, or you want to be seen like um, that pillar of success, or that template of success, or that picture perfect pamphlet of what success is, or what riches are, or what. So you might live beyond your means, or you might just, spend on spend your money on unnecessary things, or spend your money excessively, flash what you have. So that could go into materialism, and the next word, superficiality. So superficiality is another trap and snare as well. And this can also tie into identity issues, to where you seek approval of others. So seeking approval of others can manifest itself based off of what you have, showing off your toys, which is your cars and your jewelry, your women in some cases, or having to have that specific type of look. Because in this dream, and I'm gonna get into the dream that I had that plays into this, as spirit was like, okay, like, because it's a long story. Like, it's kind of annoying at this point. Like, you know how you have a series of dreams, or the same characters keep coming in your dreams? That's what's happening. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to just nip this in the bud, okay? But anyway, the superficiality can manifest itself into like a person that maybe only surrounds themselves with a specific type of people, or circle of people, that kind of have that like social status or class, or they have a certain look. And there's a difference between upgrading your life, where you're surrounding yourself with people that are like minded, or that strive for the same things as you, where it's like a healthy ambition, versus when it's like shallow ambitions, or shallow and superficial motivations and connection, right? Like, I'm only going to surround myself, like, I'm no longer going to talk to these people or talk to that person because they don't fit into that, or I'll only associate with you if you make a certain amount of money, because it's something that's, and I feel like in some instances this could be a healthy thing, but in some instances it could be superficial as well. It could be shallow, because it's not coming from a place of true. And that's why I say the identity, your true identity will play a role in this, because if you don't know who you are, truly who you are, you're not going to move in correlation or in alignment with your soul. You're going to be doing things based off of your flesh, off of your ego, off of that false identity that you have of yourself, and you're never going to feel like you fit in, because you don't know who you really are. So you could be someone that makes a significant amount of money, or have a high position, and be placed in a room with like-minded people, or I shouldn't say like-minded people, but similar status level of people, and you could still feel like you don't belong. You could still feel like you're not good enough. Rubbing shoulders with these people, really truthfully, you might feel a sense of a little bit of approval of these people, because you're seeking external approval outside of yourself, but you'll never really feel like you belong, because you're not connecting with people that really resonate with that part of your soul, the truth of who you are. So, like, you know how they say soul tribe, right? We talk about soul tribe a lot, soul fam. So we encounter people in our lifetime that resonate with us. They just are like familiar to us. We feel like they're family. We feel like we've known them forever. But when you're not following in that, you're not opening yourself up to that. You're connecting with people just based off of what they look like, what they have, and that's superficial. Okay. And some of those people deal with identity issues as well. Their money is their identity. Their status is their identity. Their beauty is their identity. Their positions in society is their identity. And those things can be stripped from you. So that doesn't really mean anything. Um, okay, so that was the list of things that Spirit told me that some masculine energies might be dealing with. So these could be prayer points, or points to And when I say prayer points, it's not to like meddle or intervene in a sense of trying to manipulate someone, like a manipulation prayer per se, but more from a place of intercessing for them, you know, whatever's in their highest good, what is, you know, whatever is this person that may be struggling with this. If you're called to be one of their prayer intercessors, because we can have many prayer intercessors in our lives, like our grandmothers, our friends, our family that really love us and have best intentions for us, could pray for our well-being and our highest good, but we can't meddle in someone's path. Does that make sense? We can't try to sway it to go another way. We can only pray for them through these things. Does that make sense? Um, so this dream that I had, I've had a series of dreams where the same character, he keeps coming in my dreams, and they're getting more progressive in a sense, like where the dreams are getting a little bit more serious. Like I'm kind of like a bystander. If I'm not directly involved in the dream, that I'm watching something play out in front of me with this male figure in this dream. And there's sometimes I'll have dreams of other masculine energies that I can see like certain things that they're dealing with as well. So like I'll talk about this one because it was kind of short. Their mother was in the dream, and their mother was heavily invested in watching me, which was weird. And that's where I was reminded, and spirit had me write down the moms, the controlling spirit, and the emotional incest side too. That some of these men, some of their mothers, not all of them. Talking about the moms that deal with that side of it. This is not every mother, of course. Let's use our common sense here. I'm not talking about every mother, but those mothers that are like that, spirit kind of brought me back to that dream. So the main dream that I had, this guy, I was kind of like watching. I wasn't really directly involved in the dream. I kind of was like watching from a window outside, and it was really bright outside. It would look like a really nice neighborhood. It was like grass on the lawn. It was a lot of people outside. It was even kids playing at a park. And I remember the man walking off, kind of minding his own business. Greetings. Wow, you sent me that message at 4:44 a.m. So I seen this person walking into the woods. Like he just kind of dipped off. Like he didn't say anything to anybody else. He just like went on his own way. So I'm like, at first when I woke up from the dream, I didn't understand why he left and went into the wilderness. But I'm like, oh, the wilderness and what the wilderness represents spiritually. So it made a total amount of sense. So prior to that part of the dream, it was another scene where this person was like surrounded by like colleagues or whatever. And again, I'm just a bystander. Like I'm not directly involved, so I can hear everything. Kind of like I'm a fly on a wall type of thing. And this is really weird, but I have to say it. But the men in the dream were, some of them, not probably not all of them, but like some of them that stood out to me were like, I guess going off to cheat on their women, their wives, their girlfriends, whatever. And this one in particular was like, I guess he was like trying to express what was going on. And I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember verbatim what he said, but it was along the lines of going off to cheat with someone that doesn't look like who I'm with. So how I took that is, and this can go back again to the seeking approval of other people and not living in your truth and being superficial, where you're dating people based off of something that's not heart driven. So men, as they say, are visual creatures. We, even women, like we'll look at a person and we'll be attracted to how they look. But more so for women, it's not as easy for us to just be with a man because he looks good. I've seen women be with men that are not conventionally or what society would deem as the most attractive and still be in love. But for men, for the most part, like they'll more so publicly, because women will publicly be with the men that are not what society says is conventionally handsome. But with men, for the most part, majority, will not walk around with that woman that's not so-called conventionally pretty and claim her as more so as a woman would. So they could be completely enamored with something that doesn't look like an artificial type of beauty or a specific what's taught to them is beautiful, or what they think their homeboys would be, looking at them, maybe even jealous of them walking around with a specific type of person or woman or a particular size, because sometimes it might not even be a physical type, like where they all look the same, where they're all like redheads or brunettes or whatever. Sometimes it'll be like just weight. Sometimes it'll be skin tone. Sometimes it'll be, I don't know, it could be anything, right? So that can play into that. So that part of the dream was kind of weird to me where he said that, but that makes sense. It goes back to the whole superficiality thing, seeking approval, and ultimately identity issues. Anywho, so the wilderness part of the dream where the guy walked off, I was looking outside of a window, and windows can represent prophetic vision, can also represent seeing into the future of something. It could also be the heart or the soul of a person. As they say, windows or eyes are the windows to the soul. So me looking outside of the window is looking into someone's soul. So this person, I feel like going into the wilderness, if you look up the meaning of what wilderness season means spiritually, they'll typically talk about kind of like the biblical meaning of the wilderness, which a few characters in the Bible or a few stories are centered around the wilderness. One being the children of Israel that Moses rescued or took them out of Egypt. They had to go through the wilderness in order to get to the promised land. And there was a lot of people complaining during that time because it was like, okay, when are we going to get here? When is it going to happen? Why do we have to go through all these series of things? So the wilderness season can kind of be a place where you're taken out of your comfort zone. So I wrote down the wilderness season being seeking God or time with God. 40 days and 40 nights. So 40 days and 40 nights is a form of fasting, and that could be fasting from anything. Could be fasting from people, could be fasting from certain traits, patterns, lifestyle changes. It's like making those necessary shifts. So 40 days and 40 nights, I wrote this down. So if this person is a male, their appearance might kind of change a little bit. They may not be hyper focused on their appearance. So if this is somebody that's like a sharp dresser, or they get their hair cut, or they get their beards trimmed or mustache trimmed and all of that, they might grow their hair out for a time. If they're in that wilderness season, it's kind of just like they're not focused on their appearance because they're more focused on the internal things. So they may even disappear in order to heal or sort through and unpack, start to spiritually unpack, emotionally unpack, mentally unpack. You might notice that they're growing distant from you and or others. They're not socializing as much. So this kind of look like depression in a sense. So I don't want to label it as that, but it kind of can be a form of it, or it's just like a point where you're going within yourself. So like dark night of the soul, I guess you can call it. They may even appear to look unhappy, and they could very well be unhappy. So like whenever you're at a crossroads in your life where you're at this point of transition where you don't really know where you're going next. You don't know where you're going next. You don't know where you are, why you're here. You may not know who you really are at some point, or what you're here to do. Why is this happening? Like, you have all these questions at that point, right? So naturally you're not going to be like, it's going to show on you that you're not really happy. You're not really content. You're not at peace. And that's okay, because this is a period of soul searching, right? So in this period, it could be seeking out purpose as well. Like, what's my purpose here? What is my reason of being? What is my contribution to life? Have I been living have I truly been living? Have I truly been living in alignment with my soul, with my true passion in life? So that could be a question as well. The wilderness can also represent a place of refinement, preparation, purification, and faith building. So in this season of wilderness, you might see some of the male collectives starting to get away from the distractions around them so that they can actually hear, like really be able to hear that still voice inside of them, hear themselves clear, hear God's source clear, and be in the presence of God's source, like actually sit with themselves. So they may have to recall back, like if in case they've forgotten who they were or they lost sight of who they are a long time ago, they're going to be redirected back to that again. So the effects of this could actually be eliminating and cutting ties with certain people, making lifestyle changes, breakups. It could be changing jobs, changing careers. It's so many different things that can happen during the wilderness season. But it's actually a beautiful process as well, like especially once you get through it. All right, so let's get into the read. I know this was, I was not expecting it to be this long of a reading or message, period. Like the entire video, I was not expecting this at all. So God bless you if you could sit on here and get through this. Okay. So let's tap in and see what's going on with this masculine collective. Like spirit literally woke me up out of my sleep, and I knew that a message was about to come through, and I just kind of course, got up, got me some water, went to the bathroom, and then I kind of sat with myself some more because I thought maybe I'll go back to sleep, but I'm like, no, I'm not, can't go back to sleep. And then I got my notebook, and spirit started recalling back that dream to me and started giving me points of reference to talk about. So I do hope that this message is going to really truly help someone, people, whoever, with this. And if not enough masculine energies or male collective men watch this, then at least the women out there, the divine feminine collective, the divine feminine collective, like, you know how to sort through things. You know how to set intentions, prayer, send healing, send love, send light, but also, again, that big thing, accountability, having standards and boundaries for yourself where you're not enabling. Like I said, and I'm telling y'all that word enabler, like we be thinking we be doing good for people when we like, okay, I'm not gonna ruffle the feathers, I'm not gonna say anything, I'm gonna just let it slide, and you just let this person kind of live in oblivion or just think it's okay to stay in something where it's not. You're enabling that person is a form of manipulation. Okay, it's not good. You're actually helping that person stay in their spiritual blockages, so that's not good. It doesn't get you any respect either from that person. They actually, yeah, they're not gonna like it for real. Men that, like, men are motivated or need to be motivated and encouraged. Or if they have a woman around them that's just coddling them and enabling them, they don't respect them. So I'm getting like whoever this masculine energy is, or for the collective of them, they could be, it's something about hatching. Some of you guys might actually witness or see some type of transformation, and I feel like it's something beautiful to witness, or it is going to be something beautiful. There definitely is a cycle that's changing. Some of these masculine energies might have anger issues as well. Can be quite destructive. I'm not sure if this is a Titan or is this Typhoon or Typhon. I can't remember what this one. I think it might be a Titan. Titan energy. Helios, I think is how you pronounce his name. I think he's a Greek god, if I'm not mistaken. So these can be pantheons of like a personality trait that your person may embody or carry. Okay. Some of them could be attractive or have like, you might find their eyes to be very attractive. I'm getting a man that has like really thick eyebrows, but they're arched. Like, why do men always got the best eyebrows? Can we talk about that? Like, why y'all always got to have the nice eyebrows? Like, come on. Like, y'all have a nice canvas to work on. Some people got to be putting all this time and effort to get those eyebrows y'all got naturally. Like, come on now. All right. So they could have nice eyes or something. Something about their eyes are beautiful to you. Okay, what's going on with this masculine spirit? Holy Spirit. These masculine energies is collective. What's going on with them? Oop, okay. What's that? They might, for some of you, your person is a nature, like a nature boy, not nature boy literally, like not that type, but like love nature, like literally love nature, and maybe know how to hunt, maybe know how to fish. I don't really like hunting. I don't really agree with it unless it's like for survival, but I don't really like the whole thing of that, the idea of that. But they know how to hunt or fish. And for some, I feel this person might discover a two-faced person in their circle. Because I'm seeing like this two-headed being being stricken down by a bow and arrow. So it could be like someone in their circle, their camp, that is a two-faced person. Something with Sagittarius energy too. There's going to be some choices or decisions between the women in their lives as well. There's this man he's looking at 3 different women here. So I feel this could represent, if it's not lovers, then it could be lovers and it could be exes, something with like the women in their lives. There's a decision or choice that's needed. Could be like an important conversation as well. I'm seeing with the Lovers card. Because there's a different, I heard the word principles. There's a different level of principles here where people operating in 3 different principles or ideals. I do feel very strongly that one of these women could be a mother figure. Let me clarify this. Divine Spirit, can you please clarify this Lovers energy, Lovers card? Ace of Wands. And the King of Wands is here with the Knight of Wands. So there's progression. There's maturity here. This could be something to do with Aries energy. This could be an my God. I wanted to say Aries male and then it came out and sounded like I said air. So this person could be an air sign, but I'm getting like an Aries though. Fire. Because a lot of references to these ram heads. But ironically though, we're in Aries season, and I did say that collectively, I feel like a lot of us were going to be dealing with our true identities or soul searching or honoring our true identities, leaving behind false identities. because Aries rules the first house being one of the areas where we find our identities, our truth, our self-expression. It is the I am energy. So this person, I feel like, is dealing with this for sure. There's in this man's hand, in the Ace of Wands, he's holding a globe, kind of like in the Two of Wands. So definitely I'm getting Jupiter energy too, or Sag, with that exploration, that travel, that expansion type of vibe that Jupiter brings. I'm getting that as well. So this is a lot of exploring the soul, the self, our identities. But for more so for this masculine, for sure, I'm seeing that. You have the Justice card at the bottom and the King of Swords right underneath it. So definitely some Libra energy. Could be Gemini too as well. Or Mercury energy, because I think we're about to go into Mercury retrograde around the time as I'm recording this. I think it's in Taurus this time. Or it's going to be during Taurus season. Mercury retrograde. But we just had a Libra full moon as well. So with the Justice card, there is a lot of balance and correction here, maybe in regards to partnerships even, because the seventh house is Libra's house, which is partnerships and contracts, marriages, so on and so forth. So yeah, this could be something centered around partnerships, contracts that they've, I'm getting verbal contracts with this King of Swords, and I'm gonna have to take a picture of this card because the woman in the Justice card, I think this is the goddess Athena. And then the King of Swords is holding the scales as well. So yeah, this has something to do with the Libra energy. So if you are a male watching, a man watching, then check where your seventh house is, or where Libra, if you have Libra in your chart, is, because this could also kind of amplify the energies a bit. Let's see. There could be, I'm just going to explain what I'm seeing, but I'm probably going to use these cards in the thumbnail so you guys can see what cards I pulled. But there could be some type of associations to Freemasonry, because there's checkerboard floor. And I'm also getting something with that owl, but I also heard fraternities as well that could be significant. Let's see what else. If you're a female woman, I don't like using that female. That just sounds ugly. Male, female, like, okay, so if you are a woman or feminine energy, um I feel like for some of you, like, this reading can resonate with you too, for yourself. Not so much like the male or the man that you're connecting to, or masculine energy you're connecting to, but more so like for yourself. Because I'm seeing something here about the inner child with the Seven of Cups. It's like some of you guys might have recently had a dream about your younger self, or not child self, than just like a former you, or something about a past energy that you might have dreamt of where you saw yourself. Okay, you might be recalled to a dream where maybe you were in the water or you were swimming or something. Ooh, okay. Yeah, there's three women that are very significant to this man's life. I'm seeing an older woman here and two, like, maybe significantly younger than this woman. So there's a mother here, okay, or some type of mother figure, female figure that's like a maternal figure to this man, and two other women. Two other women can represent an ex versus someone that is currently active, or it could be you're one of them, or this could be future tense energy if you're not actively, because some of you guys don't have anybody in mind. This could just be like you tapping into the masculine collective to see what's going on. This could be answering some questions you have surrounding what you're picking up on, who your person would be, what they're dealing with at this time. If you're not with anyone, or you don't have anybody in mind specifically, this person definitely has a decision to make, but I don't feel like they're content with these 3 energies here. So let me clarify this. I don't want to pull too many cards. I'm about to clarify this stuff. Knight of Pentacles. They're dragging their feet on something, and that could be a sign that they're not content, they're not sold on something when it comes to these feminine energies, or they're not sold on who are their options or what they have in front of them, because it's like commitment for them is serious, so they're taking their time, but it's almost kind of like extending their time because they're not sold. Yep, 2 of Wands. There's temptation here for this person. I forgot what you call those creatures. Whatever the Sagittarius is a satire. Is that what it is? I don't know if I'm saying it right. I think it's 𝗟cie𝘃𝗲. I think that's how you pronounce that creature. I could be wrong. I don't know if I'm saying that right. There's temptation that this person is possibly being met with, or they're walking away from. Because this person is not satisfied with just like those sexual temptations. Yeah, there's a lot of energy of temptation here too. But I feel like your person is maybe, I'm getting a lot of Aries energy. So I'm getting some water feminine energy as well. Libra, maybe Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but I'm more so getting a lot of fiery energy. I feel for some of these like masculine energies, they're already like trying to decide what's of their highest good right now. So yeah. Spirit, I'm getting like the story of Samson and Delilah, and I did mention the Delilah spirit during the message before I got into the reading. And on the way to, think Samson in this part of the story was on his way to a woman or to get married or something, and a lion approached him. And this lion can be a symbol of the divine, this high source, divine source God. And they wrestled with that lion. Samson was very strong. He was very physically strong. And his power was in his hair. So when he disclosed that to Delilah, she sold him out, and his hair was cut, and he was in this state of weakness. So this person, I feel like Spirit has been warning them adamantly about being careful of the people, of the company that they keep, and exploiting or giving too much of themselves to people that don't serve them, because it's like it can be used against them. So there's this wrestling with the Strength card. This man is wrestling with this lion. They might have a, I don't know if this is a guardian angel or if this is a higher self. Let me see. I don't want to, this reading is already an hour in. A video. Hierophant. Yeah, it could be like a guardian angel that's trying to intercede or intercept. Very well, if it's not like their own personal guardian angel, it could be just an angel or an archangel of some sort that might even resonate with you too. But there's something about an intervention for this person, because there's this energy here. I feel like this person is a part of some type of, like they've taken on some type of like what's the right word? Some type of doctrine that is connected to like a fraternity or some type of, I'm hearing the word brotherhood, like this little satire, this half man, half horse thing. He's doing this hand symbol thing, and he's also in two other cards. So I don't know. For some reason, I'm getting like this person is trying to lead to a different path. This same creature is in two different cards. They're trying to lead towards another path, or to possibly like seek out their own truth, their own beliefs, their own religion, or their own spiritual faith. I'm getting, because this person could have been kind of taught something. So like, it doesn't feel like a traditional religion though, to be honest. It feels like something where there's like hidden secrets, or only if you're a part of this type of, I'm getting like fraternity. I keep hearing that word, but it doesn't have to be that specifically. Because there's like this little scroll or like certificate. So I don't feel like this is traditional religion. Like, you know, Catholic, Christian, Islam, Buddhism. It's like something that's hidden, like not for everybody. So they might have been taught something, or it might be something that's like maybe they were a part of a religious cult as a child or something. I don't know, but it's like not a common faith that you can just kind of study, or you know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense. So they're trying to find their own way, or this can just represent something that maybe was within their household that they were taught to believe or taught to practice or something as a child. But I feel like it's them trying to find their own way, and this spirit or this energy is kind of like tempting them or following them around, or this is a part of some of their ideologies maybe that were toxic, you know, or some of their ways. So yeah, to sum this all up, I would say do not, you know, just skip to the reading and just listen just to that because you're addicted to tarot or you're addicted to cards and you got to have the cards, to where you miss out on the message, because there was a lot before we even got to the reading. So I would definitely encourage you guys to start from the beginning, and take as much in as you're able to handle or resonate with. Okay. Not everything is going to apply. Sometimes it might not make sense at the time. If some of this stuff is a little ahead of what, you know, you're able to like take in, or you feel like resonates with you, it might not resonate till later on. It may not make sense until other things play out in your life, perhaps, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope this was helpful. Much love as always, you guys. Be blessed, be safe, take care, peace.